Damn, I ain't like playing no more, really. Yo, how you get your profile picture like that?
I'm lit, right? I'm lit. You like my style. I realize that. You goofy niggas like my style. I'm trying to figure out who you look like.
Say, you trying to figure out who I look like?
I'm trying to figure out who you look like. Funny looking nigga.
Check your birth certificate.
I don't know what that's supposed to mean. Are you telling me that you're my kid?
I'm that baby Pappy.
You a sick puppy, huh?
Rest in peace, motherfucking Bernie Mac. That motherfucker was hilarious. Jangling.
You a horny nigga.
This nigga did some boo-boo shit.
Yo,
your man ready?
Promote safe sex.
Promote safe sex.
You know he don't.
We quarantine. I think this nigga want us to live a lie.
Yeah, you know he don't do that, bro.
Nah.
Crazy. I got rubber scrap.
I support Plan B.
Golden eye.
You don't
do
use
the
those?
episode like this.
You don't use those? You got about 12 kids. You trying to battle Gritty for most kids.
Oh, there we go.
You got to start the episode like that, cuz.
No doubt.
Yo, Sudan, you ready? You ready, big baby?
I've been ready.
I like that.
Get this guy out of here.
I like that. Yeah.
Incredible, man.
Yo, we here, man. Trap Car, episode 21. The captain right here. Desco over there. BK with Debo Bryson. Sudan right there. And today we have a very important and special guest. My main man, Arden, from the FOURSIDE Media Network. All right? This guy is the dopest out. His fucking network is killing shit. He's one of the brainchilds in the face. He's also a sports journalist, which I love. You know what I mean? And just an overall stand-up guy, man. Clap it up. Let's see some claps for my man.
Love is love. Thank you. Round of applause right back to you guys, man. Seriously, I appreciate it. Thank you.
Yeah, man, definitely. We happy to have you. You know what I'm saying? You know, we touch base with each other on a lot of things on the music tip all the time, but
easily. I'm
such a sports head, and I'm like, dude, like you were made to be a guest on this motherfucking show, bro.
Hey, you know, it's crazy. Since last night, you know, in advance of coming on the show, I actually checked out the last couple episodes, and I gotta say, really good job, for real, man. I like the conversations you guys have. That was a really dope dialogue you guys had about Wayne too on the last episode, from just the radio show to the verses. You know, me personally, I think Wayne is too unfair of a contestant for any verses. So he's probably the only one, maybe alongside Hove, that shouldn't be taking part in any verses, whether we're talking fantasy wise or in real life. But it was a really good combo, for real, for real.
I appreciate that. Talk that shit. Sudan was saying that. Sudan was like, he don't think nobody can match up with him.
Nah, it's just unfair. And I think it's really just the mixtape catalog too that makes it too unfair. I think if we're talking albums, I think if we're talking like pure hits, Wayne is still unfair, but whoever that opponent is, would have a better chance. But when you start talking about the dedication series, the drought, It's like,
drought.
It's curtains.
unfair.
Drought. Oh, we forgot about the
It's
drought.
Yeah, we
curtains,
forgot
man.
about
Man,
a
I'll
lot
get
of
you with
shit.
that.
Drought 3 changed my life when I was in middle school, man. Shout out to my guy Tyrone. God rest his soul. That's when I first heard like the Drought 3 and heard Upgrade Your Freestyle and all that other stuff, man. It's like, come on.
That's a fact. Tyrone, where's he from? Yonkers?
Nah, Tyrone was like a big bro to me that grew up in New Rochelle. Yeah,
Oh, okay,
and
okay.
at the time I have a lot of family that live in New Rochelle. I think I may have told you when we like first met,
Yeah,
when we did the interview, like the first 12 or so years of my life was on the south side of Yonkers. Like I grew up in Slow Bombs projects,
yeah.
going to school down there, all that stuff. So it was just a matter of me coming up to New Rochelle with mom and dad every weekend. And he was just one of those guys who I met through another friend. And as I got older, you guys all know how it is. You have like your big bros, your OGs who take you under the
Definitely.
leaf. Y'all ride around. And he used to have like the craziest mixtape collection. Crazy. Like the same way folks talk about, oh, I got the leaks and the tapes now. That was tied back in like 2006, 2007. Like that. And
Yeah,
he put me on to a lot for real. That's the guy forever, man.
that's a fact. RP to your big homie, man, because
Right.
those are the
Thank you.
people like those memories and those influences that they held upon us. That shit lasts a lifetime. You know what I mean?
Easily. Still around to this day, man, for real.
Definitely, definitely. Today, first subject, man, we're gonna bust it down too. So I'm gonna spark it up with NBA, right? First of all, I just want to ask everybody, who the fuck would love to see the NBA back right now? Because I know I would.
I would too.
Yeah, no,
I would too.
I'm right there with you.
I would too.
All right, so here we go. I'm gonna spark it up with you first, Desco. Now, in the midst of everything going on, we had a lot of players come out and say, particularly Kyrie was the main component in this. He was the main voice, saying that now's not the time. You know what I'm saying? And I get it. I get where he was coming from. I got a little bit to touch on about that too, but I want to touch base with everybody else first. So Kyrie basically was saying, in the midst of the social injustices and right now, while it's got the whole world's attention, let's not go back to sports and distract the world from the bigger, subject at hand and everything like that. So I just want to see how everybody feels about that. So Desco, pop it off, man.
I'm not mad at him. Like I understand, and I get the bigger picture. And to be honest with you, I don't disagree with him. But because I'd rather see it, it's like it's frustrating. But I don't disagree with him. I think the progress that's being made right now, I think the NBA could wait. But then again, is what are they doing? You know what I'm saying? Like, what's their next steps? Because you're saying, no, we got to focus on this. But why? Like, what do you have going on?
The world is flat.
Say it again, Sudan.
He thinks the world is flat. I fuck with him, but he still thinks the world is flat, and he's wilding.
Yeah. Now, I think the message is dope.
I think they have a bigger platform though, so they could still continue to go out, like go through the process of protesting and making a stance for something while the NBA still going on. Like nothing's gonna stop. I think it's better if they actually do start up, cause niggas will be paying attention to that, or people will be paying attention to that. But they have big voices like in the league, like. They got people like LeBron, people like KD, people that speak on shit to keep everything going. It's not going to just be totally forgotten about.
I think that's a super valid point because, especially with no sports going on right now, they're aiming for the end of July, and nothing probably will be in motion yet besides the NBA playoffs. And nothing's going to have a spotlight on it like the NBA playoffs. So I agree. That's a super valid point.
Let me ask you a question real quick. Are they going straight into the playoffs?
Nah, there's like 8 games.
They're doing 8 regular season games.
Yeah.
Doing 8 regular season games and then the playoffs. In terms of how I feel about it, it's, Kyrie's my guy. Kyrie's been my favorite player for a while because I'm actually like a long-time Cavaliers fan. So after LeBron left and we went through that terrible year, we got Kyrie the next year, and he's always been my guy. He's that guy for me, man. When talking about one-on-one, I need somebody to get a bucket. I'll put some money on anybody. Kyrie's gonna be my choice every single time. But my biggest issue with just, I guess, the player's stance on it for those that are worried about playing and taking away from the protests is, why do you think it has to be an either or thing? Like, it doesn't have to be, well, if we play, we're taking away from the movement versus, oh, if we don't play and we just protest. Because it's like, if you go with the latter, what do you think the timeline is going to be for anything to get better? Like, this is not some simple issue where we go, all right, guys, cool, let's revisit the season in October where things are much better. Like, this is a lifelong project here we're talking about, when erasing systematic racism, police brutality, and all of these things, not to mention when we're talking the business of basketball, this isn't just something you could walk away from where you leave millions to billions of dollars on the table. You're talking about a potential lockout if you forfeit these billions. And not many players in the league are in a position where they can sit out a few months, let alone 2 years. And similar to what's already been said, I feel like, again, playing games is actually the biggest platform and the biggest thing you can do, because it's a matter of, hey, the NBA is a very progressive league where the players are truly powerful. Why not do something where the media partners have to raise awareness and constantly talk about the issues at hand? Why can't the players, similar to what we've all seen on social media, be like, hey, you know, like, again, like a LeBron, for example. Yeah, I know I had a 40-point triple-double, but by the way, the cops that murdered Breonna Taylor haven't been arrested yet. You know, I read an article this morning, and somebody brought up this great idea about 2K. Like, I don't know if y'all have seen it, if you guys play 2K, but if you play like online or do My Career, in 2K, there's literally Black Lives Matter and I Can't Breathe shirts that they gave for free. And
That's hard.
And in the loading screen, they've been putting up like Black Lives Matter screens in the support of Black people. And in this article, it said, how about on the court, you have on the floor markers, Black Lives Matter and I Can't Breathe. So it's like the players and everybody else involved have to understand that by playing, it's bigger than just, oh, entertaining us. It's about the fact that you literally have the biggest platform here to raise more awareness, and you're able to cover every single base in terms of the optics and financially. That's why you should play.
It's bigger than the sport. It's bigger than the sport and the entertainment.
100%.
And that's why
that's a great idea too.
Yeah, and that's why I
put that on the court.
Yeah, and that's why I hated when dudes. Side note, like, I seen on Twitter, dudes try to like come at Bron because Bron was like, "Well, I know I can play and be impactful towards the Black Lives Matter movement." It's like, yeah, he's been doing that his whole career. Like,
that's all they've been doing. This ain't the first issue that's going on in the world.
Yeah, it's like, of course, there's a basketball reason to it. Like, of course, LeBron knows he's actually in a position to win a championship, which is much different than competing. Has LeBron always been in a position to compete? Yes, but in a position to win? I think people will be surprised when they look back at LeBron's finals history, not to excuse his record, but he really hasn't had many chances where he was in a legit chance to win a championship. He's actually in a great chance this year, arguably his best chance to win a chip. So, of course, from a basketball perspective, he's going to want to come back and play to win. But at the same time, knowing it's LeBron and what he's done, he knows for sure, like, bro, I can be the best player in the world like I've been while doing all of these great things for Black Lives Matter. So why take him for a joke? Why try to, like, diss him or be like Patrick Beverly and be sarcastic?
Yeah, no, definitely so. Because at the end of the day, first of all, I want to touch on what you just said. I do think this is his best shot since being on the Heat. Because his second Cavalier run, they were pretty much always the underdog.
Literally, and I know, literally every year.
You would know. But Sudan, I think that was a great point what you said, and Arden touched on it a lot more too. When the NBA playoffs, say there was no pandemic, the NBA playoffs still gravitate the most attention at the time, no matter what, right?
Yeah.
Secondly, with nothing else going on, it's going to be heightened tenfold. All eyes are going to be on the NBA. And another thing that I want to say is, yo, fam, I don't think anybody has quit their day job to go to protests and try and write letters to Congress or nothing like that. motherfuckers got lives they gotta live still at the same time. You can do. They're not mutually exclusive. You can advocate for change and still live your fucking day life, bro. You can't not take care of your kids and not go to work and still want to make because making changes is something that you have to. Both things can be done. You know what I'm saying?
And that's the problem too of just this day and age, you know, it's just people think it's, I always say, man, people think it's either or. You're either on one side or you're not. And I get in trouble sometimes online and in real life because I'm like, actually, it's a mix of both. Like, it can literally be it can literally be both things. You know what I'm saying? I am the heaviest sports fan. I actually have a deep connection with sports because I work in sports. You know, my livelihood has been impacted by this pandemic with me not being able to cover games. And even then, guess what? I've still been able to help out as much as I can, whether it's donating, whether it's helping clean the streets after things were rioted and looted, or reaching out to Black women and trans groups about what I could do to help with donations or spreading awareness. So it's like people can multitask. It doesn't have to be, if you want to watch basketball, you're not helping out with the cause and you're not a sports fan because you want to see the cause grow. It never made sense to me.
Yeah, there's definitely a disconnect with that. Somewhere mentally there's a disconnect that people think you can't do multiple things. It's fucking insane.
That's because people can't multitask, man.
That's a fact.
But to think that other people can't do it because you may not be able to do it that's like a mental illness.
The world is flat.
Yo,
but
let me ask you
what I don't want to do, I don't want to discredit him or Dwight Howard or whoever else felt like, you know, maybe it's the emotion.
Dwight Howard said something too?
I'm discrediting Dwight Howard. I'll put my hand up.
No, bring my shit back. Somebody bring my shit back. What Dwight Howard said?
He agreed with Kyrie.
Yeah, he just doesn't feel like now is the time. But I think that's the thing, again, with what the players are saying. You're right in saying what you're saying, but it's still a matter of long term. Like, if you don't want to play now, you really think with you being on record that it's going to make sense for you to be like, all right, I'm ready to play in October or next year? Like, optics-wise, you're going to have a lot of side eyes because it's like you think this is like, what, a short-term issue? Like, you rather play when you think things are going to get less hot. This is like something that's completely different in all of our lifetimes. This doesn't have the potential as of right now to be something that is going to die down like other protests and moments have. This is going to be something because of the pandemic and much more where the conversations will be more ongoing. There's going to be another level of uncomfortability that's reached. So it rubbed me the wrong way when they were saying that, because it's like, you think right now is not the time, but in November or December is a better time? Like,
no. If anything, this is just the beginning of what's to come with the whole movement right now. I don't think people are going to let their foot off the gas for years to come, because I really think it's hit a boiling point, not just in the Black community, but worldwide. It's been the biggest protest in the world ever. Like, the whole world is protesting, bro. Like, it's fucking crazy.
New Zealand is protesting.
Everybody. Like, there was like the most countries ever for one issue ever. So at the end of the day, like, this is just the beginning. Like, you can't put everything on hold. And I agree. And I think too, the messenger, it's never like, because I understand what he was saying, but the messenger means something because he's had so many outlandish claims. People are just gonna want to discredit anything he says anyway. You know what I'm saying? So
yeah, especially when you only got Dwight Howard backing you up.
Yeah, Dwight is not the guy. I'm all here for the Dwight Howard slander too. I'm all here for that. No fucking.
I'm good on Dwight Howard, Scrap. I looked up his injury report one time. His injury report read glutes.
I remember that.
That was right after the allegations of him messing with the tranny and all that.
That was tough.
Good on board. He had an ass injury after that. Good.
I'm passing on Dwight. I've never been a Dwight guy. You know what I'm saying? But let's keep it NBA. Let's say hypothetically they do actually start at the end of July, like they said, right? Do you think, we touched on this last episode too, but I want to get your insight on it too. Do you feel that it's fair to have the play-in for a team like the Mavericks, who are maybe 10 games ahead of somebody else?
I think it's fair just based off of just the seeding, and how they play. And I think the 8 games that they have going on, it actually leads into the fact that, hey, we can reseed whoever is in their positions based off of the performance of these 8 games. So I think in some instances it's tough, but at the same time, it shows that the reseeding possibility is for everybody on board. So if you're a team that's trying to make the playoffs, hey, you can still focus on those teams ahead of you, because if they do the 1 through 16 format, again, it's completely different than going, all right, East versus West. So if you're that team that's in that 13 to 16 slot, you're going to have extra motivation to compete, because you don't want to be the 16th seed because that means you'll face Milwaukee. You don't want to be the 15th seed because that means you'll face the Lakers because they'll be number 2. So you're going to want to try to jump and do things. And if you're a higher seed, and that middle of the pack is going to be nasty now, because now you're talking about the best middle pack from the East and the West, you're just going to want to find ways to compete. So it's going to keep everybody on guard, even for those teams that are, like you said, like the Mavericks or others that are up quite a bit. It's going to keep everybody on guard. So I'm really looking forward to it.
But that 1 to 6.
Off topic, I fuck with Arden. Boy, you sound just like a first take nigga, man. I ain't gonna lie, you got a whole first take voice. I feel like
I've been
fucking
doing it
with
for a while.
Stephen A. and skipping them, man.
I've been doing it for a while, man. Thank you.
No doubt. Nah. But I don't think they're doing the 1 to 16 this year.
I think I would rather that though. I think I would rather see the 1 to 16 seed than for them to battle it out the other way, like East first.
I think that would be dope. But what they've been saying was they were supposed to only have the up until the 9 seed for the East, and they were gonna have the 13 seed for the West. But it still was gonna be East and West this year. That's what they've been saying.
Yeah, I think they were. I think it's part of that, but also still seeing just that 1 through 16 method just be pitched around. Because it's like, if you wanted to do a 22 season restart, you're talking about the 22 teams, the 22 best teams in terms of record. And I just think in terms of record, at least, the West would definitely have that advantage. I mean, I could be wrong, but I remember seeing – yeah, but I remember seeing the layout about 1 through 16, and some fans on Twitter, were actually upset because they were like, damn, like, Milwaukee will be on one end of the spectrum, the Lakers will be on the other end, and then certain teams like the Clippers or whoever's in the middle pack, or the Mavericks, the Celtics, the Sixers, the Raptors, they will be in the middle pack, which means a team that we would see in any other year make it to the conference finals could very well be knocked out in the beginning because they got to face another conference finals competitor.
That's why I think I think what you're saying with the 1 to 16 would be kind of dope for this specific season, because everything that went on.
Easily.
But I think they 86 that. If I'm correct, I think they had it ironed out where it was already supposed to be July 31st. They were supposed to be there for 6 weeks without anyone, and it was going to be the 1 seed to the 13 seed in the West for 8 games, and the 1 to the 9 in the East. And it was still going to be conferences. That's what I think they came to an agreement on. But now they're disputing about actually like moving forward, because you got a lot of players saying with everything going on with George Floyd and the racial discrepancies and social justice going on. But how do you who do you have winning, first of all? Because we discussed this many times.
I was just gonna say that, does the winner change no matter what format they go with?
Hold on. Let's go to regular format first. What you just asked. Arden, who do you have winning if they keep it regular format right now? Who did you have winning in the chip?
I would say in either format, honestly, I was going with the Lakers. I was going with the Lakers. Things just seem to be going in motion with Bron and AD and those guys. The Bucks, again, they have a really good chance to do it as well, just because, again, they have a mega superstar in Giannis and a really good team themselves. But I was beginning to roll with the Lakers, to be honest with you. Back in March, before our worlds were turned upside down, I was going with the Lakers for a title. I really was.
I had the Clippers. Who you had? You had the Clippers too, right, Sudan?
Yeah.
What about you, Desco?
I think all three of us went with the Clippers, yeah.
Yeah.
All of us based in LA.
I think a 7-game series, I don't see they're too defensively stout, man. And I don't think LeBron has enough around him to put up enough points, to be honest. I really don't.
That's how I feel. Seven games is a lot to have to depend on AD and LeBron against a team that's like defensively stacked almost beyond we've ever seen.
And I'm gonna be honest, I don't think Bron's putting up over 30 points every game, bro. Not when you're gonna have to deal with Kawhi, and then you got to deal with Paul George, and they're gonna be fresh because they switching on and off.
But you know what's so funny with y'all saying that? That's how I feel about the Clippers, because I think more than anything, LeBron and AD would shine brighter than Kawhi and Paul George in a playoff series. Because Playoff P has his playoff struggles. And the Playoff P nickname is not for fun. It's a sarcastic nickname that fans have given him because it's the same guy who we saw struggle against Utah. This is the same guy who we saw struggle against Portland. And then when you think about, besides those two potential offensive go-getters, I mean, of course, the Clippers can say, oh, we got a Lou Will.
That's what I'm saying.
But everybody else, though, on that team is very dependent on the playmakers of a Kawhi over Paul George. But that's where it gets risky. Because if Paul George is once again having playoff struggles, and then you have a Kawhi Leonard who still needs to be managed because of injury reasons and just stamina, he's going to be in a position that he's not used to. Brown is used to being in the 6-7 game series where he could play a bunch of minutes. AD is more than capable of being a dominant number two, and they have a supporting cast with a Kuzma, with a Danny Green, potentially Dwight Howard, that can actually get off.
That's where we differ, because I don't think their supporting cast can put up buckets. I think the Clippers supporting cast can.
I don't think AD gonna put in enough work as everybody think he is.
I
Them
think
boys
he's more
down there is bullies in on the Clippers. They gonna be putting wild bodies on AD.
They're gonna be putting. They're gonna be physical too.
Strong.
They got the advantage. They got the advantage. They got the advantage when it comes to postseason toughness alone, just because of LeBron. Because the Clippers team isn't too experienced or mentally tough enough. Again, there's a lot of cats on there that's nice one-on-one during the regular season that I've seen disappear for years in the postseason. So it's like, again, and guys like a Lou Williams, as crazy as it sounds, and he's a bucket, don't get it twisted. But those cats usually sit out the fourth quarters in the playoffs because they get eaten up on defense, pick and rolls. And when he's not getting a bucket, it's like, what use is he to you? You feel me? It's like the same thing with a Pat Beverly. Pat Beverly, physical, and do all of that. Like Westbrook has shown. Once you get over him going all crazy, he's an offensive liability. Just put a body on him and you don't got to worry.
I don't even think Pat Bev is that great of a defender. I think he's a great pest. I think he's a good defender and a great pest. But what I'm saying is, on the bucket side, I don't trust anyone on the Lakers to score a bucket besides Brown or AD. Where Lou Will, he's liable to go 30 in one of them games. Where Carroll's liable to go 20. Kuzma's not dropping more than 20 points in none of them games, bro. I'll tell you that right now.
But it's still about the usage. At the end of the day, the Lakers have the safest bet with Bron. LeBron has seen every and all challenges. So when it comes to a postseason series, that's one guy that, in terms of any doubt, it's like, I'm not worried. Again, with a Kawhi, you know what he can do. I mean, at one point during the finals last year, I was looking at Kawhi and honestly calling him the best player in the world. That's honestly how I felt. But and I think at certain moments he is. You know what I mean? It's just when Bron and Giannis come through, it's kind of like, all right, you top three, but them boys are different. But it's just when you got a playoff P that you know can struggle offensively, and then you got everybody else in that team that's more of a regular season performer, and the toughness aspect and everything else about them, it can be exposed off the strength of you just matching their physicality and the fact that they're not that experienced. I mean, I'll be comfortable taking the Lakers in 6 and possibly 5 if it came down to it. Because I just don't trust anybody else.
You don't think they experienced enough just with Kawhi and Doc Rivers?
Nah, not at all. LeBron's experience trumps those two, especially as a lead man, and because he's really been through those battles. And again, I'm just very curious to see that. Like if Paul George is more of a better postseason performer,
didn't really win no battles he was in though.
It depends on how you look at it. Technically, he may not have won a lot of his battles, but when it came to his performance and how he gave it up, Brown was always there.
Yeah, he's battle tested. He's definitely battle tested.
I can't say that about a Kawhi to an extent. I can't say that about a Paul George or a Lou. A lot of them cats are regular season players that I saw disappear in the postseason.
I think
I don't know.
The difference, I feel like the difference maker is, to be honest, if you look at the Lakers roster, and Casket just said it, the Clippers got a way better roster.
They do individually.
As far as depth, but I'm saying
not as a team.
As far as depth goes. So if you look through the beginning of the season, we saw Paul George. I don't even think was there that much, right? Was he injured for a little bit?
Yeah, he was battling injuries.
But the rotation, that's going to be the difference maker. I feel like the rotation, because if you think about how deep you could go into the Clippers bench compared to the Lakers, like I really don't know.
Lakers ain't mentally tough enough to play with them boys, man. You get Bron mad, and Bron gonna start doing anything.
Arden's making a good point about Paul George.
And here's the thing about that, by the way.
But we never seen Paul George with so much rest either.
Hold on, Desco. Let me ask you something, because Arden did make a good point. But who would you trust more, Paul George or AD? AD has not done anything. He has no.
I was just gonna say, look, let me finish. So
AD has absolutely no track record at all. None.
And he's injury prone, right?
And neither does anybody else on the Lakers besides Bron.
If we talking track records now,
I'd
take somebody that went to that conference finals than somebody who's never even played in the playoffs.
AD has played in the playoffs. He hasn't made it as far as a Paul George. But
he hasn't done shit.
But here's the thing, though. But the context matters in the fact that Paul George's runs in the playoffs came when he was a younger player on Indiana on a much better team than any team AD has been on.
No.
Yes.
I don't say that.
Yes.
He was still they both were the number one on average squads.
But who had the better team? The better team aspect provides the greater context. It was Paul George in Indiana. Roy Hibbert was arguably a defensive player of the year. Lance Stevenson was busy off the bench.
1 year.
But
Roy
we're still talking. We're still talking about.
Roy Hibbert was equivalent to Andrew Bynum. He had 1 good year, bro.
Okay, but at the same time, hold on though. That same Andrew Bynum you comparing him to was also a key piece to Kobe getting 2 rings.
Andrew Bynum, son.
So is that really a disrespect? But I'm saying though, but is that really disrespect if we're talking about a player who you compared him to that got one of the greatest of all time, 2 more additional rings?
He helped them get 1 ring.
One ring.
He still contributed along the way. He got injured during one of those finals, but he helped contribute along the way. And it was a big deal when he got injured. So what I'm saying is it's still a matter of context. Because when we're talking context in terms of 2-on-2, we saw playoff P disappear 2 years in a row. AD, for a while he hasn't never been in that position, he's more capable of being a more impactful player because of the fact that he's more around about offensively and he's better defensively.
That's hypothetical, though, because we never seen it. And I think he's liable to choke.
Did PG disappear last year?
Everybody's liable to choke.
Did PG disappear or OKC?
Yes, the last 2 years.
Or did they just play a good team that...
No, the last 2 years.
It was Portland.
They were favored against both Utah and Portland. They were favored by quite a few people. And it's still a matter of if I have If I have a Paul George that hasn't given me anything, like I said, in the postseason, and I got a team that's better, but they're better individually, at the end of the day, who's had the better record off the strength of a team? It's been the Lakers. So individual stuff don't matter because to also speak to Desco's point about depth in the playoffs, we talking 7-8 man rosters. Yeah. Teams don't go 12-13 deep. So we going the best 8 to 9 who can fit within the system.
That's a fact. But who are the literally, if they put clamps on Bron and AD, who are they going to get a bucket from?
There's no clampage because you don't stop the greats. And it's the same for Kawhi and Paul George. More so Kawhi because Paul George has stopped himself. You don't stop greats. It's about slowing them down. So at the end of the day, if LeBron has a player that regardless if we're talking postseason or regular season, that has less offensive struggles and it's more of a difficult matchup and it's going to take away from the Clippers' inside presence in which they're already smaller by, who's going to be harder to stop? Bron or Kawhi? Who got more shooters? Bron or Kawhi?
I think Kawhi's going to be harder to stop because who's going to stop Kawhi on the Lakers?
They could throw a multitude. They could throw a multitude of bodies. But the thing is, in the last matchups that they have seen, especially with Bron and Kawhi over the last few years, LeBron has picked up more responsibility on Kawhi and was getting more dubs over Kawhi, including in their last win. So LeBron could pick it up. LeBron could play D. It's just a matter of he has to be smart about it.
But they literally, this is how I look at it. When the Clippers are a better defensive team, right? And they're a better offensive team. They have people that can get buckets. Nobody can create on the Lakers for themselves except LeBron. Danny Green can. AD barely can. He's good in the pick and roll. He's not creating on his own.
AD can. AD can consistently can. You don't be an all first, second team NBA player and don't create.
He's not creating with the ball in his hand.
I'm telling you, you're overrating certain parts of the Clippers. If they were as good, they would have done what the Lakers would have done. They would have been the first seed. They struggle because they don't even got the same chemistry as the Lakers. They don't even got the same chemistry.
The seeding don't matter to teams like that. You've seen it with Toronto last year.
Toronto had more chemistry and they had a more unique roster setup. The Clippers are a team. The Clippers, I'm telling you, it is.
This Clippers team now is better than the Toronto team last year.
I don't agree. I think if you're looking at it individually, you see the
not individually, as a team.
But they're not though.
The Lakers are a better individual team.
If Kawhi's Raptors were to face Kawhi's Clippers in the finals, Kawhi's Clippers is getting beaten in 5.
Nah, no way.
They're not a better team. I'm telling you, they're not a better team. Y'all gotta get past the
The Lakers are a better individual team because of Bron and AD. Bron and AD are better than Paul George.
But here's the thing, though. If you say that, then that takes away from your argument about the Clippers being better. Each of your arguments about the Clippers, yes, it does. Because each of your arguments about the Clippers
overall a better team.
But you're also looking at it from the standpoint of individually. Y'all haven't answered yet when it comes to, from a team standpoint, how the Clippers been better. How have the Clippers been better as a team?
Because your regular
haven't
season
been better as a team.
Your regular season record doesn't mean you're a better team.
I'm not just talking about regular season record. I'm talking about the style of play.
Player is Danny Green. That's their clutch player.
Danny Green is clutch. Danny Green is pretty clutch. But y'all can't go against LeBron like that and think, well, because there's some instances when there's plenty of instances that's proven his clutch play. And AD is a more effective player on both ways. So what?
He's not more effective offensively and defensively than Kawhi Leonard.
100%.
No way.
100%.
He's just a better facilitator. That's it.
I like it.
At this point, he's only a better facilitator. He's not a better scorer or a defender than Kawhi.
That's not true. That's
a fact. That's a fact.
Kawhi is up there, but his ability to still do certain things offensively is also still predicated on an offensive setup and particular matchups. And every star player is like that, but there's certain levels to a takeover. And a Bron takeover is rarely seen across the league, maybe besides a healthy Kevin Durant or a healthy Steph when Steph was going crazy. And even then, it's just a rare thing. It's still a matter of, if we're talking postseason and we're talking shortened rotations and we're talking about certain productions, even though the Clippers do have better individual players, it's a matter of how do those players play within the concept of a team? And the Lakers have that advantage and more experience.
That's
what I'm getting to. We agree to disagree.
Yeah, no, definitely.
I'm speaking more about the team play. And I'm speaking they're better because from the standpoint of team play, forget just record, the Lakers have been playing better as a team, whereas the Clippers don't have that. And the Clippers won't make that up with 8 regular season games and with a Kawhi, who you still got to look out for from an injury standpoint, with a Paul George who disappears in the postseason, and every other individual player that may be talented but isn't accomplished in the postseason and hasn't done nothing within the Clippers team. That's who you're betting money on.
Yeah, I'm betting my money literally. Because they literally have more chemistry. The whole nucleus of the Clipper team was together except for Paul George and Kawhi. The Lakers
they had injuries throughout the regular season. That's why they're not in the top 2. What's up?
You know who I'm putting my money on? Doc Rivers, man. fuck everything else. I'm putting the money on the coach, man. The coach gonna be the reason why Kawhi, why Paul George, who ain't been showing up, is gonna show up. Why Patrick Beverly gonna eat LeBron little ass right up, no rainbow.
Hey, Doc, I love
AD
Doc.
is
I
not gonna
love
put in
Doc.
as much work as
I love Doc.
everybody think he
I
is.
love Doc. But besides the OA Celtics, what we talking about with Doc? Don't worry, I'll wait.
Yo, Arden.
I do this for a living.
That was always
I'm just
the
saying
contender.
though.
He always had his
No,
team
I'm just speaking though. But if we're talking about if Doc's the biggest reason, tell me what he can do. I seen Doc lead teams that blew a 3-1 lead against a Josh Smith-led Rockets.
That's true.
I seen him get out of here in the first, second round. So if we want to go there, we can go there. Doc ain't the biggest old trump card. Ooh, I got Doc.
With Doc,
That-
I got Antoine. I got Antoine, Doc Rivers.
You see what Doc do when he get the big stars around him, though.
Yo,
He had big stars. He had big stars in Clippers 1.0. Did he not?
Nah.
Yeah.
He had
Only Chris Paul. Only Chris Paul. Blake Griffin
What are you
and
talking about?
DeAndre
Blake,
Jordan weren't big
how?
stars.
Blake Griffin at one point was a top 5 MVP candidate. What are y'all talking about? Kias.
Nah, bro.
Top 5
Blake-
MVP candidate. Literally speaking. He had those two. And you want to talk about, and that's the thing about Doc Rivers Clippers. Doc Rivers Clippers, which proves my point again, have always been the team. Have always been. Hold on. That proves my point about why I'm talking about with the playoffs. Here's what I'm talking about.
They had Chris Paul. That's why they lost. If they had Chris Paul, they would have won.
Hold on. Now I gotta come at your head. Pause. Chris Paul is number 4 in NBA player efficiency ranking in the playoffs ever, bro.
Chris Paul's the point guard. Don't do Chris Paul like that. That's the point guard.
He's just a hater. He hates Chris Paul. You
Paul
a hater.
out of here. What Chris Paul doing? What's he doing?
He leading the Thunder team that many people didn't expect to make the playoffs to the playoffs.
When he gets to them playoffs, what is he doing?
He's been cooking up.
I just told you what he's doing. He's the number 4 most efficient player in NBA playoff history.
Side note,
how many finals? How many finals appearances?
0.
Guy, he's 6 foot. What 6 foot guard?
But hold on though. But if you a Melo fan, then you can't even say that.
Come on, dog. You fooling out.
I ain't trying that shit, man.
I seen this conversation going this
Get Chris Paul out of here, man.
But either way, what are you about to say?
What I was gonna say, because we spent a lot of time on this. I hope so. We're gonna revisit this. I hope we get that matchup that we all waiting for.
I hope
LA
so too.
LA.
That's why that's why I took a back seat real quick, because I was like, at this point, we gotta watch this shit.
Of course.
It's gonna happen. They're gonna see each other.
But let me say this last point again though. Doc has had a lot of talented individual teams. But his best success, and he would say it, wasn't about star power. It was about the right pieces. So, for example, the OA Celtics, folks look at it. Oh, yeah, KG, Paul Pierce, Ray Allen, of course.
Yeah, they had a perfect
but
setup.
It was the great depth and roster fits.
But that's what
he needs to make happen.
And that's how I feel. I feel like the Clippers is the same thing as the OA Celtics. I feel like they're similar.
That's where
I feel like they're very much similar, and that's why Doc is gonna have a flashback, and they gonna smoke they fucking boots.
Doc ain't playing.
That's where we disagree. That's where the disagreement comes. What you're saying, we're agreeing with, but you think the Lakers are a better team, where we don't. We believe the Clippers are a better team.
I think the Lakers are a better team, but the Clippers have better individual players. And I think based before pre-pandemic, that was proven to be true. The Clippers' lone win over the Lakers came off the strength of individual players. It came off the strength of the individual players. Defense, yes, but in a game that's 110 to 100 and something to 10, we're not really talking defense. But their individual.
You are in that last 4 minutes. In that last 4 minutes of the fourth quarter, that's what matters.
Defense.
Yeah,
and that's how
defense played a part. Defense played a part. But again, who really came through? And that's what we're talking about for 7 games. It was Kawhi, and it was more so PG who came through on Christmas Day. And the next matchup, it was a matter of LeBron dominant, but the Lakers as a team being better than the Clippers all through. So it's going to be a matter of in the postseason, what wins out? Team play or individual play that gets better?
Yo, who's your favorite player?
Yeah, the team plays the Clippers. That's what we saying. But yo, when they play
each other, who's your favorite player?
In general?
Yeah.
Oh, I said it earlier. I said to this day, still Kyrie Irving. That's my guy. That's my
Yeah,
guy.
Kyrie.
Uncle Drew, that's my guy.
I fuck with Kyrie. I'm a Chris Paul fan, man. That's been my favorite play for the
I love
last.
CP3 too. That's my guy, man.
That's my dude. But yeah, I hope so, man. And we're gonna make sure we catch a game together. And everybody
100%.
should know this. Whoever watches this, I don't know if you are Arden, but I'm a betting man. I love betting. So anybody, my paper's always right. I'm ready to bet on anything I'm confident on. So you know what I'm saying?
We'll see. I wish I would have gotten in bed. I would have been a rich man, considering how many things I've been right about. But
Yo,
I don't play with
I got
money.
bookies. You know what I'm saying? I make a lot of bets, man. Sudan's the ticket guy. You know what I'm saying?
I'll
Yeah,
look
chill.
into it.
Don't put my gambling habits out there.
No doubt, no doubt.
Oh,
All
man.
right, let's get
Good
into
stuff.
let's get into
Yo.
a little hip hop. Let's get into
Hold
a
on.
little hip hop.
Shout out to my New York Knicks for
Oh
coming
no,
up
yeah,
short.
matter of fact, before we get into hip hop, fuck you, Desco. Desco, I'm sounding off on you right now. This motherfucker came up. He came up. He was supposed to owe me big $100 Sammy Fish spots and all of that. The Knicks was never making the playoffs. They was never making 30-plus wins. You was dumb for even taking that bet. And that's
Yeah.
delusional Knicks
We-
fan shit for you.
We
And
just
you
gonna
lose,
bleep
you
that
ain't
whole.
that motherfucker
We
that
gonna
came
bleep that whole shit out.
We gonna bleep it all.
Yeah, we gotta make sure at 9:13. I don't know how the timing goes.
9:13 EST.
Yo, I'm gonna find
Yeah.
it. I'm gonna find it and I'm gonna actually bleep it. It's gonna be like, beep,
Yeah.
beep, beep, beep.
It's a random
I'm
jet
sounding
cut.
off.
It's
It's
a
I ain't
random
gonna
jet
lie.
cut.
I'm gonna steal $100 from you. I don't know how, but I'm gonna find a way. I
Oh
might
my
gotta rob
God.
you, man.
Yo, make
Yo,
an
don't-
OnlyFans page. Make an OnlyFans page.
Oh yeah, that's how I can get my money. I gotta get a little joint to flash your ass. That's gonna cash right out.
Mm-mm. Crazy.
Yo.
Come on,
So what's up, man? Let's
swerve
talk.
over.
Let's talk 6ix9ine, Nicki, and Akon. The controversies there, man.
Sudan,
Daniel.
hold on. Nope.
Daniel.
Sudan gotta go
Daniel.
last. Sudan gotta go last.
Daniel. No, I don't even
All right.
want to talk about it too much, but it's Daniel, not the other numbers.
Yeah, Daniel. We call him
All
Daniel.
right,
Not the other numbers.
Danny boy.
Danny boy.
So, Arden, how do you feel? One, about 6ix9ine's music careers. Let's start with that. Like, you know, short. It don't gotta be. You don't gotta get into depth. Post the snitching. And then, how do you feel about the backlash that Akon and Nicki has received for working with him?
So far, to be honest with you, you know, and looking at 6ix9ine post jail, post telling, and all that stuff, man, I look at him as, honestly, to be honest with you, I look at him as irrelevant. Like, I look at him as one of those dudes that some folks in the culture be so concerned about, like, oh man, he's gonna be like a leading face or a leading topic of conversation in hip hop. And it's like, yo, hip hop is so big of a culture with so many different people in it doing whatever it is, and that the same way a lot of people can pay attention to 6ix9ine is the same way a lot of people could not pay attention to him. And it's like, of course, I checked out that IG live, you know, the first one fresh out of jail. It was like who wouldn't? Like, this is like a big freaking deal. Might as well go see the madness. I don't regret doing it. Plus, for FOURSIDE, I mean, we're media, so we got to report, got to see what's up. But outside of that, man, I have not paid one single attention to 6ix9ine. Like, even when he's been retweeted on my timeline. My bad. Yeah, Danny boy.
We gotta bleep that
Danny
shit
boy.
out.
Danny boy.
Numbers. Every time you say the numbers, we gotta bleep that out.
Danny, you know, when it comes to Danny, man, every time he's popped up on my timeline, I haven't clicked on a video or a photo to be interested in what he's saying, man. I mean, again, it was just the original live. The whole little billboard chat was intriguing to me because I'm into the business and numbers. But besides that, it's like, leave that man alone. Let him be. Let him just do what he does for his fan base, and we don't got to worry about him being like a defining member of hip hop. And with Akon and Nicki, it's not a surprise, especially with Nicki. It's like, I mean, she just did a record with Doja Cat, so it's like, come on, like, it's not a surprise.
She been flushed. Her shit been going down the toilet. Her man got his shit. Her brother got that shit. At this point, Akon shit it didn't bother me. It didn't make me feel no type of way about him because one, Akon is not even in the same, like, he's not in the streets. He's not doing none of that. He's building shit in Africa. I'm sure he probably charged Danny a fucking bag, which I'm sure he's gonna. From what we've seen, he's been doing nothing but good stuff. So that didn't even bother me. I'm sorry, I'm lying. It did bother me. The song selection bothered me.
Yeah.
We talking about Styles P was on there.
Yeah.
That bothered me. But him doing work with him, it didn't. I didn't even really pay it mind until I saw people like dragging him. I'm like, yo, it's Akon. Like,
yeah.
Nicki.
I personally don't give a fuck who does what with him. I don't care. It don't bother me. I don't care what he does either. Like, I don't really give a fuck. I didn't pay attention to him much before that, and I don't now. And I really don't give a fuck about what.
Yeah, that part.
Is doing or Nicki's doing. I business wise, to be quite honest, because I feel like, you know, in wrestling, when you the baby face, and then all of a sudden, in order to keep your career moving, you turn heel.
Mm-hmm.
I feel that's equivalent to Nicki, and I feel like if she don't turn heel, she's, you know, if she don't embrace being the heel, her career is gonna plummet even worse. So I feel she's doing the right thing business wise. Like, take that. She's already been the heel for the last 2 years, 3 years since Cardi came on the scene. So at the end of the day, embrace all that. Take that in. Like, I thought that was a smart business move for her brand. You know what I'm saying? Personally, just looking at it branding wise.
And her followers are gonna go wherever she goes. It don't even matter.
I think the song fucking sucked enough where it's not gonna, like, if that song was more fire, I think it would have been way more beneficial to her. But that song is not gonna move. You know what I'm saying?
Definitely
and then I
not.
also agree with what you said earlier too, Arden, and I think I touched on it a previous episode. People, when he first came home, he's getting all of these big numbers on lives and everything because people are intrigued. Excitement and curiosity, that shit dies down. That's not a lasting trend. That shit dies. That's why fads always fade away, trends always fade away. But the people with quality shit, longevity lasts. So you might lose the sprint, but you always win the marathon, always. So he's gonna be gone soon, bro, because he just doesn't have any, like, that appeal's not gonna stay there no more, because the curiosity every time is fading. Watch, I can guarantee this. Every song he puts out is gonna do worse than the last. I guarantee that. I'm willing to bet anything on it.
Pretty smart bet.
I would say I would bet you, but these numbers is scary. What are you talking about? This season never ended. How many games they needed?
Too many.
Nah, they needed like 7 games.
Yo, they needed so much games that they made it a 2018 playoffs and they still didn't make it. Fuck you talking about, huh?
Jeez.
Yeah, everything's bleeped.
Yo, Sudan, you want to sound off on Danny Boy?
Yeah, go ahead. Get it off your chest.
Nah, I don't really got nothing to say about the bull. I never really paid attention to him. I ain't paid attention to his live. The only reason why I seen this shit was off for Shade Room and shit. The only thing I was mad at was Akon, and that's only because of the SP track.
Yeah.
If it wasn't an SP track, I wouldn't care about it either.
I'm not gonna lie, I thought that was corny as shit. Trying to remake
I thought it was
that
corny
song
because you know that's not gonna fly with SP. Akon, why would you even attempt that? Like, that shit is just
I don't think
stupid.
he even give a fuck. I just think that's a classic song. You don't fucking tarnish
That's
that
not
type
a
of
part
song.
2. Nigga, that's like Belly 2.
Alright, unpopular opinion, Belly fucking sucks. It's a cult classic, but it sucked as a movie, alright? I just want to throw that out.
2?
No, Belly, period.
Nigga, Belly 2, nigga. We talking Belly 2, nigga.
Dude, we bleeping that too. Nah, we're not playing this.
You can't pay me to watch Belly 2, huh? That's like watching Carlito's Way 2, bro.
Belly 2.
I still owe Uncle Diddy a fucking, not my uncle, let's throw that out there. I still owe Uncle Diddy, uncle, a bocatao for that stupid ass Carlito's Way 2, man.
Oh my god. I would say this about that sample though. If there was anybody he should have given the sample to, it should have been the dude who's been bodying a lot of these samples in recent years.
Tory?
Yeah. We actually talked about it on the podcast. We was like, damn, you could have saved that for Tory after we saw Tory's comment. That would have been on like tape 7. That would have been. I would have taken a Tory remix of Locked Up.
I would have took
Definitely.
that too.
Yeah, he
Definitely.
hasn't letting me down
I
yet.
fuck with Tory. I ain't gonna lie. I fuck with Tory.
I think
100%.
Tory's best material comes from when he does them remixes. Like,
Over 100%. He's one of those guys. I mean, he's getting better with the original stuff, but yeah, that's how he got his name off of.
yeah.
Yeah, his
Yeah,
album
man.
wasn't that bad.
Yeah, but yeah, man, guys like, Danny Boy, I picked up on it. I'm getting used to it now.
There you
Danny
go.
Boy, it's just, again, man, it's funny enough. I said it on the pod the other day. I mentioned how, like, and it was random, but I was like, I mentioned when, like, Waka Flocka was, like, popping, like, that guy. I remember I didn't like Waka Flocka at all back in the day. But the main point I was saying back then was just, like, whether it was with Walker or other artists over the years, if I didn't like somebody or care for them, I did not go out of my way to check for them. And people just have this bad habit because it's similar to what they went through when they used to go to school and they hated missing out on the fight or the substitute teacher. Folks just don't want to miss out on the conversation. So
That's a
it's like,
fact.
oh, man, I got to check this and that. And it's like, but, bro, you literally said, like, you don't like them. You don't like her. You think they trash. So it's like, why are you checking with somebody or something you think is trash? Because you
It
want to be a
costs you
part of the
nothing.
conversation. It costs you
It costs
nothing.
you nothing. Pay me no mind. Remember when Hov said that?
That's right.
I
So
bet
That's a
that's
fact.
something I took you to this day.
if you ignore Danny, his career wouldn't be as big as it is now. If
That's
You
a
know what
fact.
the problem is,
ignored him
though?
back then, like
The problem is people are in denial because Nipsey Hussle said it too. You just ignore him. But a lot of people know that you mention him, that's going to bring you attention.
Of course.
And then they front like they not clout chasing, that they just pointing out that he's a snitch or they just pointing out something specific about him. But the reality is they're no different than everybody else that wants the attention. And right now, his name is everywhere.
Yeah, it's like we got to ignore.
Super point right there, Desco. Because you know what? Not for nothing. A lot of the people that make it, they have no choice but to mention him at all times. They shit is in the fucking tank right now, and they want to get lit. So that's a subject that's a popular subject right now. They can't wait to bring up his name just to stay in relevant combos too. That's a fact.
I learned with
Desco.
I learned with Fuse
okay,
that
Desco.
I gotta
clap it up.
I learned with Fuse a long time ago that although I don't really like, he's annoying as fuck.
Shout out to Ugly.
I follow him.
Shout out, for real.
And I did. I watched the live. I even watched his recent live. And I'm reading the comments. I see Lil Reese. He's in the comments. What's the other kid? Smoke Perk. It was a bunch of people that was calling him Trippy Red. Like they all in there. They watching his live.
Yeah, they couldn't wait.
Shit. If you didn't fuck with him and you didn't want to see him, you wouldn't be there commenting for attention.
That's a fact.
Folks,
so
controversy always sold.
He's gonna be around as long as everybody continues to carry him to wherever he's going.
True. All right, we're gonna close up with some NFL talk, man. So, first of all, how do y'all feel about Cap getting back in the league? Do you think he has a real shot? One, do you think he even wants to really be in the league? Because he says so, but do we really feel like his heart is there? And 3, how corny do you feel the NFL is for now backtracking everything that transpired 4 years ago and making an apology, but not actually directing it to him?
Honestly,
Cap nails every game.
As he should.
What'd you say, Sudan?
Say he nails every game.
Who?
Cap.
Oh yeah. Well, now kneeling is a popular consensus. So the NFL is going to embrace that because it's a good thing to do now. When 4 years ago they demonized it. You know what I'm saying? All of this shit, bro, is to save face for money. All of these fucking companies is just saving face, bro. It's a fucking facade for 90% of them, bro.
Honestly, I've been saying over the last couple of years, man, I don't want Kaepernick to go back to the NFL because I honestly think his purpose right now in life is bigger than playing football. You know, it's like, why do I want to see this legend, this dude that's been so influential for the movement, for people, come back to the league to basically be a backup to make
Mhm.
spare change. Like I know, and it's like I get it. I know a lot of people want to see it because it's like the completion of the story and all and everything. But it's like, but let's just get past that initial moment. If you want this dude to come back to the league just so we can have that little moment of a comeback and to throw flack in the NFL's face. Oh, you did this, you did that. Just to see our boy be a backup for what, $1 million or $2 million?
Yeah, he's coming to be a backup.
I'm just saying based off of I think he's talented enough to be a starter. But I'm talking about terms of teams and who realistically needs a starting quarterback. Nobody's signing Cap to be a starter unless it really came down to it. They would sign him basically as charity. To put him on top, to bring him in the quarterback room. And that's why I don't want him back.
I don't want to see him come back like that.
Yeah,
let me say something. You know what? I agree with what you're saying, except I don't feel like it'll be charity. I feel like it'll be a business play because now that'll bring that team revenue. They're not giving a fuck about him. If they did, they would have did that 4 years ago, 3 years ago, 2 seasons ago. They're doing that shit for business, for money, bro, because now it's the good thing to do.
Yeah,
now
but what you said is why it wasn't possible really 2, 3, 4 years ago because the block was hot. Amongst owners, amongst white America, the block was hot. And that's why I was like, I don't want our mans to come back to the league for that. Just so you can sell some jerseys and do some ads. It's like, nah. Y'all wasn't with them in the first place. Y'all was going against your players for kneeling and speaking up. Kaepernick is in a much better place.
That's exactly what it would be right now. It would be a media play. It would be a business play. It's not really for the right reasons. The right heart isn't into it. So it's like, I agree. I don't care to see him in the league. I know he probably does because it's a passion of his. He loved it. You know what I'm saying? That's like me saying, somebody telling me about rap. Like, yo, nah, you know, like I can't turn away from something I love. But I don't want to see it either personally. You know what I'm saying?
Buddy got tens of millions of dollars. He's around 30 or so. And he's made his legacy and his standing at this point so much bigger than tossing around a freaking football, man. And it's like, I get it. It's your dream. But, bruh, like, your purpose in life has been made greater than that. You know, you're healthy. You're young. You got millions of dollars. You don't need to come back to the NFL for chump change and to be charity and to be some ads and to do all of that just so every Sunday the camera could just go to Kaepernick off the rip during national anthem or during the beginning of games. Like, I don't want to see none of that, yo.
I say the only way he should come back is if he plays backup for Brady just so he could get a ring off the muscle.
You think they winning? You think Tampa Bay's winning?
No question. He needs to go play backup for Brady and get a ring off the muscle and do the NFL greasy. That's the only way I come back.
I read an article. They said the Chargers was looking at him because he might want a red shirt that other kid, Herbert.
Yeah, never the Chargers. Chargers ain't doing much. Backup for Brady.
Got a squad, bro. They got a squad, though.
They're not winning no ring.
Just figuring out the quarterback situation.
Yeah, they're not gonna win a ring, I don't think either. But
niggas is like the Rockets, man.
How come on, huh?
I'm just saying.
It's all right. CP3 gone. He gone there. I don't got to root for them niggas no more, man.
Not lying.
All right. You wanted to talk about the return season, right, for the Super Bowl contenders?
I'm all for it.
Desco.
Yeah. The 49ers and the Chiefs.
All right, so bring it up. It's your subject.
I want to know, do you think they're going to have a similar or better, or you think it's going to be a decline from either team? Kind of like, you remember how the Ravens, when they won that next year?
Yeah.
I
mean, honestly, I would say, sorry, Casket. I would say for the 49ers, the Super Bowl losers have that long history of declining. But I don't think their decline will be bad, though. Like, what was the 49ers, a 13-win team?
Yeah, 13-3. Yeah.
I'll have them at 10 or 11, you know, just because they're incorporating some new talent this year. So I can see them dropping a couple more games. honestly, I haven't really thought of a repeat winner for the Super Bowl yet. But if I did, I would honestly go with the Chiefs. Like I really would. You know, the AFC right now, for while it could be a little competitive, a little more competitive, it's still in their favor. You know, again, Brady's out of the conference. Everybody else, I mean, you have the Ravens as well, but besides the Ravens, maybe a surprise team or two, the AFC is all theirs. And then it's really all about the NFC. You know, it's all about what Casket Boy does, man. It's about what the Buccaneers do. But I'm very confident in the Chiefs that if they're healthy enough and Mahomes is still Mahomes, I got KC taking it again, to be honest.
So I got them with the easier road back to the Super Bowl than my Niners too. No bias. They definitely have an easier road there. The AFC's theirs for the taking. There's a lot better competition in the NFC. Just in my division alone, we got good teams to face. So I'm not taking nothing from there. I don't think our decline is going to be that great either. I think maybe a couple game, give or take. If we were 13-3, I don't see us going any less than 10-6, and that's the minimum.
Yeah, it shouldn't go below that.
Yeah, I don't think we're going to go below that, and I think we have potential to actually be 13-3 again. But we definitely have a harder road. We have a harder schedule. We got a harder division and a harder conference.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm not taking nothing from the Chiefs, man. They did well in the draft. I think we did excellent in the draft. They did pretty good themselves. So if I had to pick on anybody, I would definitely pick the Chiefs coming out of the AFC. The NFC is tough. There's a couple teams. I would put it 3-team. I think it's a 3-team race, to be quite honest. I think it's my Niners, and then I think it's the Saints and the Buccaneers. And everybody else, I think we'll wipe the floor with.
Hey, oh yeah, shout out to you 49ers, by the way, for giving my coach DeForest Buckner. Appreciate it.
That's a big pickup. But, you know, that's why I said we did great in the draft. He was just too expensive for us. We got a lot of players to play. But he's a great player, man.
But, hey, getting a 26-year-old second-team All-Pro is nice.
Especially
for $17 million a year.
Yeah, he's just getting there, too.
That's really nice. Appreciate it.
He's going to shine on that line.
Last question. The Tennessee Titans. One and done?
Those guys. I'm not worried about the Titans this year. If my Colts get the quarterback situation figured out, we're not worried about anybody else in the division. I'm not worried about the Titans.
You mentioned the Colts. I was like, all right, well, let's see how y'all feel about Tennessee.
Yeah, I mean, Tennessee. I'm not worried about Tennessee.
Arden's a Colts guy.
Yeah, I'm not worried about Tennessee. If our quarterback situation is right and I trust Rivers, then we'll be good. Because the rest of the team's pretty good. I mean, Colts arguably have the best offensive line in football. Got an improved defense. We had a top-notch running game. It's just all about figuring out the quarterback and kicker. Because literally we lost a lot. We lost damn near every game last year because of those two reasons. Quarterback and kicker.
Yep.
Nothing more, nothing less. So if those two get fixed, we'll win that division. I mean, Jacksonville's in a rebuild. Houston should be in a rebuild. I mean, I love Deshaun Watson.
I'm so upset with that shit, bro. I'm pissed about Houston because – first of all, he's out of all the young quarterbacks, he's always been my favorite. I still think he's the best out of all of them, including Mahomes. I still think he is that good. But like, you don't get rid of a receiver
still blows my mind, yo.
I don't even know, bro. I don't even know. There's no words for that.
I got Kyler for getting him in Arizona. That's gonna be lit.
Yo, that shit gave me Chip Kelly vibes.
I always fuck with the Sooners, so like I like Sooner players, and I always like Kyler Murray. Just to throw it out there too, I mentioned this early episodes. We was talking about QB1. You watched QB1, right?
Yeah.
So he was on there. He was backing up the dude that went to Iowa. Okay. And he just went this year. He's going into Clemson, and he's gonna back up Trevor Lawrence. But that dude right there, when he becomes a starter, his name's DJ, like a Samoan type of
Mm-hmm.
He's a stud, bro. I'm telling you, he's a stud. I've been saying it for years. He's a stud, man.
Yeah, he looks like it too. I'm blanking on the name, but I know who you're talking about because I've seen him play quite a few times. But yeah, he's good. He's definitely a talented kid. That's for sure.
Clemson got something with him. I think they're going to transition really well from Lawrence to him, and they're going to be right back in contention. I mean, in maybe 2 years from now, because Lawrence, he's still playing. When's he leaving? Next year?
Yeah, he's definitely leaving after next year.
Next year, yeah.
That's projected number 1 pick.
I think he's gonna be the number 1 pick.
Yeah,
I don't see why
he's
not.
that good.
I mean, yeah, he had that sophomore slump, but that happens. That happens.
Yeah.
And even then, that sophomore slump was able to take Clemson to the Final Four.
Yeah,
So that tells you how
and that
special he
sophomore
is.
slump was still better than 90-something% of quarterbacks in college football. So
Speak on it.
he's
That is
that good.
true.
He's that good. How do you feel about no fans with well, the NBA is gonna not have fans. We know that. But for football season, it's still up in the air. I personally don't. I would love it watching it because it's watching it. You don't give a fuck about the fans on TV, but live, like me not being able to go. First of all, my Niners play the Jets and the Giants back to back this year in September.
That is true. Yeah, I know you tight. Yeah, you wanted to go to MetLife.
Yo, there's no way. If I'm going both weeks, if they have fans, I'm going both weeks. But
got to.
I don't know, man. It's just like I don't want to. Football is one of them sports like basketball. Going to games live is cool, but football's literally it's an experience. You know what I'm saying? From tailgating, it's a whole different vibe, man.
But that's the funny thing about it, though. It's like attending live football games gets a mixed reaction from a lot of people. Because you got some folks who love to go, and then you got some people who don't like going.
Mm-hmm.
Because football is one of those sports where, honestly, it's to a lot of people, they much prefer to watch it at home at a bar than live, just because of the whole experience. And then you got some people that only go to games just for the sake of, hey, yo, let's tailgate, let's jump off of cars, trucks now,
because it's an
and do all that
experience.
stuff.
It's an experience.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But I mean, honestly, I think Deshaun Jackson has said it. I would like for them just to mic up the players. Just mic them up throughout the whole game. Like, I'd rather hear that.
Take that
I want to hear
XFL
everything.
route.
Yeah, for real. Might as well.
Word.
Like, don't pipe in no fake noise. I'm curious to where even if they let fans in, it's like how we talking about with tickets, and then we're replacing fans because each game is televised. So do you move fans in the lower bowl for the sake of TV so it can look better, or do you be
Probably
like,
so.
out of here, or you go F out of here, you pay for what you pay for? Somebody still got to sit up top at MetLife, so it's like, I don't know. But
Yeah.
I'd rather just hear the mic'd up players go at it if there's no fans, man.
Oh, mic'd up players in football is the best. What's that what was that show on Saturday mornings all the time, man, when they used to
Was this ESPN had a couple of those shows?
It was ABC, I think. One of them.
Yeah.
Fox.
Freak, what is it? Because NBC had one as well that I like. I think it's called like
Maybe
Inside
it was
the
NBC.
Lines. It's like Inside the Lines or something. Or
It wasn't Under the Helmet, right?
Nah, it wasn't that either. It was the one where they always had the fucking gridiron music in the background. You know what I mean? That shit made you literally feel like you was going out there to war with them. I love that shit growing up.
Is it, are you talking about the one where it's like the music is like
Yeah.
That might be some NFL films type stuff. But those are the classic though.
Look, I was just about to look up NFL films because I think it might be one of
the
them
NFL films, NFL Network, America's Game,
and that was
or
like
whatever.
the only time we would ever get to hear the players mic'd up during those type of shits. Because they like you said, they came out
You
with
talking,
other shows.
you talking a long time ago.
Long time ago when we were kids, bro. Like it actually used to have me hyped, bro. It was only on Saturday mornings back in the day.
Yeah, I saw a lot of those on YouTube and NFL Network.
Yeah, I like that. I would like to see them. Sudan was telling us last episode or the one before, he was saying there's no way they could do that shit with NBA players, bro. They have to bleep out every fucking word.
Easily. Oh my God. Look, as somebody that covers games, and I've been given some good seats to cover games, the things they say in between the lines, priceless.
Basketball is crazy.
Priceless. It'll be too crazy.
That's a fact, Jack.
It'll be too crazy, but for real. I'm excited either way. I'm excited either way for everything, man. I want sports to come back, but I want athletes more than anything just to realize, like, you can multitask. You can be the best you can be on the court, on the field, while still doing a lot off it, and realize the leverage that they have, man. Like, for real, talk to your league, talk to the media partners, get them to understand what it means to raise awareness in ways that wasn't seen before. Like, don't just come back to action and just wear some T-shirts. Like, nobody wants to see that. Like, really switch it up. Really switch it up. Like, make the commentators mention statistics about systematic racism, police brutality, rape, sexual assault victims. Like, make them raise awareness. During a time like this is where you have to. If you're so worried about people being distracted, well, help them stay engaged by bringing up these facts, raising awareness. You know what I mean? Talk about it in pre and post game stuff. There's many
no matter what it is.
Yeah.
That's a fact.
It's a t-shirt, headband, commentators, and your interview, post-game interview, all of that. You speak on it as much as you can. They platform is so big. They should be looking forward to all of this. Like, that's why I said, man, Kyrie said the world is flat, man.
The world is flat. Look, Arden not here for the Kyrie slander, huh?
Hey, look, I couldn't defend him for that. I was like, Kai.
Yeah, you gotta let that one go out the window, cuz.
Yeah, I'm like, Kai, come on, man.
He was like, yo, he's due. He did the flat. He's due. He was due. He was due another one. It's a new year. It's a new year.
Yeah, Kai is one of them outspoken guys, man. He's one of those outspoken woke players.
He's out there.
He goes about it. He's out there, you know. But at the same time, though, side note, people's reactions to him, even Woj with that terrible article about him, shows that a lot of people still have a lot to learn about just player expression and players being more than athletes.
Yeah.
The way people reacted to Kyrie, and I'm not even talking about just within this group, I'm talking online. It's like you basically told Kyrie and any other player shut up and dribble without saying shut up and dribble.
Yeah.
That's one thing to react and disagree, but some of the comments were so nasty that it's like you're basically saying shut up and dribble, black man, without saying it.
That's why I was saying that the message isn't even off. It's because the messenger, people don't want to hear that message. If that would have came from somebody else who people respect their voice, it would have been legit dialogue made of. But because it came from Kyrie, they discredited it automatically. You know what I'm saying?
And that's still terrible because it's like Kyrie, of course, has said some things we disagree with, or you might look at him side eye, but it's like, again, like with anybody else in life, like you still got to respect people's opinions and still focus on the message to where to go crazy like that for, again, what I've seen online is like nasty. It's like folks got to silence him or Dwight or Avery Bradley and just, oh, shut up and dribble. We need you. We need you to play. It's like, come on, man.
Yeah, I even talked about it with my man.
The internet is vicious. Man.
Oh, the internet's ruthless. Internet's
vicious, man.
But I said that with my man the other day. I was saying how, like, even if I don't like you as a person, if you're saying something that's valid, it's still valid. Like, knowledge is knowledge, no matter who it's coming from. Some of the world's most ugliest people were very intelligent. That doesn't take away from their intelligence. That they're just ugly people for everything else that they brought to the table too. You know what I'm saying? Like, knowledge is knowledge, period. At the end of the day, you have to respect that. So, like, I'm with you on that too. Like, I feel like what he said was valid enough for people to take into consideration and at least, at minimum, create dialogue from. But because it came from him and people, he's so introverted. He said some he's out there. He said some outlandish shit before. They was like, oh, fuck out of here, like, you know.
Yeah, it was tough, man. It was tough, but hey, just all about moving forward and seeing what happens next, man. I do hope throughout the month of July, NBA is back in action. We're seeing training camp stuff. We're seeing all that stuff. I really hope so, but I hope it's back in a way that's beneficial for everybody, man. For real, that's something that I have my fingers crossed for.
Yeah, we agree on that, man. And definitely when we get to the series, we got to link up. But, yo, before we get out of here, I want you to, just let everybody know what's up with what you got going on as far as the Fourside and just, your journalism and your basketball programs and anything you want to just touch base with the world, B.
Yeah, man. Seriously, guys, thank you so much for having me on the show tonight. It was a lot of fun, great dialogue. I rarely get to debate and discuss with people like this, so you guys are helping me stay sharp. You know what I mean? So I really appreciate the back and forth, man. So in terms of Fourside, man, like you heard Casca say, I'm the co-founder, CEO of it. We started off from just being a music podcast to now being a full-fledged network. We got a lot of dope content coming out over the summer that you guys will see. Got some merchandise coming out, and we're really just trying to do our part, coming up with exciting and insightful hip hop commentary, but also making sure that Westchester County is being represented all the way properly, man. That's a big motivating factor for us. So be on the lookout for us. Follow us on the gram at FOURSIDE Network. And in terms of me personally, I'm on Twitter, tweeting a lot, Arden Sports Talk, sports writing constantly every day, doing a lot of stuff, man. So I got my own platform, AST, and I also do a lot of writing for SB Nation and USA Today. So, and one way or the other, your boy's cooking up. That's all I know how to do.
Definitely. Tune in, tap in, make sure you tap into the FOURSIDE, everything that Arden got going on. Again, we appreciate you, bro. We could keep this shit going forever with you 100%. And we're gonna touch back. Hopefully we get that series. We're gonna have some commentary back and forth, man.
Yes.
Definitely.
And listen, I'm all about honesty. I'm all about honesty and accepting. It's easy to accept. For me, it's easy to accept when I'm wrong because I'm rarely wrong. So in the case that I'm wrong,
Okay.
I'll give it up.
Way.
I'll give it up.
Okay.
It is what it is.
No
It's all right.
doubt.
A shooter's still shooting 70% from the field if they only miss 3 shots out of 10.
I say that all day. I say that all day. If your percent, actually, I said that in Sue's team. I said my win percentage on life is 73%. Man, I'm winning out here. We doing good. You know what I'm saying?
So if I'm wrong, I'm wrong. It's all right. I'm gonna make the next shot though.
No doubt, no doubt. Yeah, baby. So we signing off the Trap Call, episode 21. It was fucking lovely. We here. We got into real shit. Desco's out here. He's about to go fucking crazy on OnlyFans. Sudan smoking big bats. You know what I mean? Arden's about to cook up another article. And I'm about to write a motherfucking masterpiece, baby. Let's get it.
That's right.
Let's take it easy.
Yeah, too, man.
Take it easy. Take it easy.
Oh.
Yeah.